Alright, I got here a O2 Lincoln LSE 3.9 V8 doing thermostat housing, which is the same as any 2000 and 2002 Lincoln LS. I went with Jag aluminum housing. It's a lot better than the stock, which is that, as y'all can see, broke off right here. And this was about to disintegrate. Actually did break off a little bit. There's a thermostat. So you go from that to this. To me, it's just beautiful and sexy. You will have to reuse the little bolts that were on here, so save those. Reason I'm making this video, there's plenty that tell you what you should do and what you need to do. A lot of people say you have to take off your intake to get to the back bolts. I did not. I didn't want to. I didn't want to remove all of that and all this. It's cold. It's about 20 degrees right now with wind chill close to 10, maybe closer to 0. So I really didn't want to do all that work. So what I did, disconnect that hose that's right here. First of all, disconnect the hoses around it, which is that one. Disconnect your thermostat, that hose. And once you have all that and you have your thermostat housing bolts back here, as you can see, one of them hits the top of the intake. Well, actually both back ones will hit the top one. The front two are easily remove them straight up. Now back to the reason people say take off the intake or loosen the intake is because of that reason right there. It hits the top of the intake. But if you have the proper ratchet and a small socket, you can loosen it, break them loose, or you could try to squeeze a little wrench, which, as you can see, you don't have much room to turn the wrench, but you can try and wiggle it in there just to break it loose. Once you have it broken loose, what I did, once you break it loose, they're pretty easy to turn. Mine were, and for the most part, bolts are stuck on pretty good, but these weren't. Another option would be take this whole thing off, take that off, and you'd have more room to work with. But I took the front two off, and I went to go get a little magnet, one of those pen magnets. Taped it up so that way the head wouldn't move. Stuck it on the top and just turned it. On this one, it worked actually great. And then once it gets to the top, loosen all the way, you turn it and it pops right out. So it gives you enough clearance to get that bolt out without removing or loosening the intake. This one was a little bit more trickier. Basically, it takes a lot of patience. What I had to do with this one is stick it to the side and then turn it. Unstick it, stick it to the side, and then turn it, and just kept doing that motion until I got it loose enough to where I could stick it on top, and then easy. It takes a lot of patience, but it's a lot better than removing all that, in my opinion. Best thing to do is take all that off, change your intake gaskets while you're doing that. But if you just need to do this when they're stuck in cold weather like I am, this is the best bet to take this off the easiest way. So now what I'm doing, putting it back in, stick it on one side and turn it, stick it and turn it. As you can see, the bolt is turning and going in. Just like that. You can go a little faster. Once you get farther enough in, I have a smaller socket and it worked pretty good for turning it. Or you can get that wrench. I think this one I got a little wrench because it was harder to get the socket in this side. For some reason the passenger side is a little harder. And once you get it pretty close to seating at the bottom, then you can get your socket in there. Oh, that one I didn't push in there that good. Sorry, I'm not lefty. That's better. So you can see it's going in. Just take some patience. In my opinion, a hell of a lot less than taking off your intake. And I was struggling with this for, I want to say, a good hour out here in the cold, freezing. And finally I thought about it. I think I dropped a socket down there. And I'm like, damn, how am I going to get there? And I thought about, one of these pen magnets. I'm like, okay. And then it just popped in my head. Why don't I use that to stick it on top of the bolt? And as I'm pulling it up, turn it. And there you go. Both rear bolts in. Just got to tighten them right now. Put my thermostat back in. Tighten everything back up. And she's back in business. Hope this video helps.